Have you heard about Anchor? Well, it's one of the easiest ways to create a podcast. Not only is it 100% free, but it has a variety of creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or a computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast to other sites such as Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many others for you. And Anchor even allows you to make money from your podcast without a required minimum listenership. So whether you've been in the podcasting game for a long time or you're completely new to it, Anchor is so user-friendly that it's basically your one-stop shop for making a podcast. So what are you waiting for? Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. You're listening to First Fossil. Because sometimes you simply need someone to help you take that first fossil. Hello and welcome to First Fossil, a show where we learn together how to take that first fossil toward becoming the best versions of ourselves. My name is Candace Olushala, and today's special guest actually is the little sister of a friend of mine from pharmacy school, and she's probably one of the coolest people you'll ever meet in the world, so I'm really excited to introduce you guys to her and her sister and her mom. So without further ado, please welcome my friend Emily with her mom Teresa and her sister Maggie. Hi ladies, how are you guys doing today?
Hi. Hello. It's good to be with you.
Yeah, it's nice to see you guys. I actually, because I want the world to see this, I still have this. I have one hanging in front of my house, and I keep the other one inside. So I just need people to just check this out. Emily made this, and she makes a whole bunch of things, and she's just really talented. So we'll have to ask her more about these and what she does to make them and some of her other cool crafts. I love them. She's very, very talented. So I just wanted the world to see that. But how are all three of you doing? How has it been during the pandemic and life in general? How are things?
What'd you say?
Almost over.
It's almost over. Praise Jesus. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So actually, we are surviving. Life has been totally crazy for us, just like it has been for everyone else. I teach, and Emily actually graduated high school last year, but she can remain in school until she's 21. So
okay.
So we found, that we were working from home, NTI, and
good. You're doing good.
Yeah, she's doing good. And then with her little brother, who is 10, so it was some adjustment. Our social life kind of stopped. But but we're surviving. There's light at the end of the tunnel, hopefully.
Nice. Oh, and you, Maggie, what have you been doing?
I had to do pharmacy school online for a couple months, but I'm doing rotations now, about to graduate. So
good. What rotation are you on now?
Emergency medicine at UK.
Woo, child. Bless you.
That's kind of how I feel, and I'm 3 weeks into it, so.
I avoided that one like the plague, so I'm glad
it's rough, so it's good. I've learned a lot. So.
Good. And graduation's around the corner, so almost there. Oh, it's wild, right? Man, it goes by fast. It goes by really fast.
This year, so.
You guys do get a graduation. Oh, that's nice.
And is it called Memorial Coliseum?
Mm-hmm.
Air conditioning, so I don't know how that's gonna work. So maybe they have fans. I don't know. That's the best they could do. So.
Rough. Okay, I mean we'll take it for a few hours.
Yeah.
Bring a church fan.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
Yeah, tell Candace how you have been avoiding COVID.
And I'm doing I'm washing in my hands for now. I've been drinking water last night. Drinking Diet Coke last night.
That works. I love that. We were washing our hands, we're drinking that water. Every now and then we get a Diet Coke, and that's good. I love that.
Yes.
I think that's a great method.
You have to wear a mask.
Yes, we're wearing our masks.
And I took showers.
Took showers.
Yes, taking showers. Did y'all hear her?
Yeah.
She
But
said,
anyway, I got a vaccine.
You got the vaccine.
you got the vaccine. Which one did you get?
The one at Johnson.
Good. Nice. All right. So we're vaccinated.
First one in. I got exciting news.
She's got exciting news.
Okay.
My mom gonna be retired.
Oh!
Yes. So this is my last school year, and I'm retiring. And Emily is making sure that everyone knows all that.
Because we're excited. It's always exciting when you get to the end of that road. It's also bittersweet, too. Like,
Very bitter, but it's exciting. So this is my 27th year teaching, and yeah, we're excited.
good. Well, it's a lot of good news all around for you guys. It's really awesome. So I'm really excited to hear your first Basso story, Emily. I want to hear it from all three of you guys' perspective, and just what for you would be a first Basso story for Emily, and how that relates to the whole family, how that affects you guys. So where did this start? How did it take place? Can you just unpack that for us?
Yes. Well, Emily was born with, what were you born with?
Down syndrome.
Down syndrome. And tell Candace what Down syndrome means.
Sweet awesome.
Yes.
So, our family is so unique. And I thought we were pretty unique before we had Emily, but she has just made our family so much more special than I think what it would have been otherwise. But we did not know until she was born that she had Down syndrome. And so immediately,
The Lord made me.
the Lord made me.
Yeah.
And so immediately we were just trying to find out what did we need to do to make her the best person that she could be. What things would she need? And I had very little experience with Down syndrome, so there was a lot of fear and apprehension and on my part because I was unfamiliar with it. And then learning all the potential health concerns that could come with Down syndrome, especially with her heart. But just right off the bat, she was seeing specialists, therapists, and they all guided us in the right path and made sure that she had everything that she needed. We were lucky that she was born with a hole in her heart. Now, who would ever say that? But it closed on its own, and there was no surgery like a lot of kids have to have. So we were very, very excited.
Like Sam.
And but she saw therapists, and then once she got into school, we were just directed by outstanding teachers, and that just made sure that she had everything that she needed to be the best that she could be. And we have been blessed with a tremendous family support system and community support system. So Emmy is the most famous person in Grayson County, and
Always.
just ask her; she'll tell you.
She was watching us now.
But she has just touched a lot of people's lives, and a lot of people have opened themselves up to us to just to give us support and to give her opportunities to grow, and just to have lots of different experiences that that she could enjoy and benefit from.
I love that. So was there anything for you guys that was like, what were the biggest challenges for all of you guys as a whole, or even Emmy, as you were growing up? Like, where did you guys see difficulties or challenges, and what did you guys do together to get over those things?
Well, when she was little, right after she was born, a lady from a local support group. And I hate to say support group as if it was as if we were not embracing our children. Sometimes you think it's support group. It's not that there weren't challenges, because there were, but we could also find the goodness and the blessings that came with our situations. But there was a mom who had a child with Down syndrome, and she immediately came and met with us, and she was able to address some of the concerns that I had. And she invited us to meet with her family, and then there was a group of other moms that got together, and we would do that routinely. And even though my family was very supportive, I'm one of 9 kids, and then we have a large extended family. So even though all of my family was very supportive, they did not know what it was like to have a child with special needs. As much as they tried, and as much as they were there, their families were not quite like mine. So it was helpful to meet with these other moms and these other families, and they could offer some medical advice, like, oh, this is a great doctor. Oh, that one, you might want to avoid that one, And so they kind of just put me on the right path. And, my family has always been there to just offer support in any way.
I would say for me, the biggest, I guess, challenge I've noticed growing up was just everyone else's responses when they figure out that Emily has Down syndrome. I've told people before, and I'm sure you have too, Mom, and they kind of meet you with sympathy, and it's nothing to be sad about. But it's just ignorance on their part, and I know they don't mean anything by it, but it's just kind of educating the greater world is kind of a challenge. Usually people are receptive, but
well, it's because she's awesome. I think that's why. Like she's like, I know that. So yeah, it's because she's awesome. How did you explain to Maggie that her sister had Down syndrome? Like, what was that conversation? Because I can imagine parents trying to let their older children understand what's going on and how to relate to their siblings in ways that they might not see their friends relating to their siblings, and why that's different.
Well, actually, that's kind of funny because that conversation came about accidentally. Maggie was 5. Maggie was 5 when Emily was born. And at first, I didn't know what to tell Maggie, and my husband didn't know what to tell Maggie, because we did not want it to be something fearful. So I didn't know the right words to say. So, that was something that I had pondered on. And then the next thing you know, we have therapists coming in to our house. So she was part of First Steps, which is the state First Steps program. It's from birth through age 3, where kids can get therapies in home if they need it. And so Emmy was very small, and we had therapists coming in. And so Maggie, I think she just thought that this was something that all families did. All families have therapists coming into their home, and they would allow Maggie to participate. And, we would just tell Maggie that, Emmy might need some help with some things, and these therapists are going to help us. They're going to help to make her muscles stronger and to help her speech. And so one day, her dad and I were talking, and the conversation was, we need to tell Maggie, we need to come right out and say, the words that your sister has special needs, that about Down syndrome. And we were trying to find a way to say that where, once again, it wouldn't be something that she would be fearful of. But what we didn't know was that she was overhearing the whole conversation. She has always had like elephant ears, especially when there was a private conversation going on. And so she came in and she said, "What?" She said, "Tell me what." And so we told her that her sister was born with something called Down syndrome, and That just means that it might take her longer to do things like walking and talking, and school might be a little bit more difficult. School might be a little bit more difficult, but that's okay. That's why we have therapists here that help, and we talked about her doctors and all of that. And Maggie said something to the effect, it doesn't matter if she has trouble talking as long as she's happy. And I know. And I thought here, I wrestled with trying to find the right words so that a young child could understand. And she was fine.
Yeah.
So
I love that. And you can tell by their bond, like, it's like having your sister. It's regardless. And not everyone would understand that. They probably think, oh, well, it's probably not the same like a regular siblinghood. It's like, no, it's a regular one. You guys laugh, you guys joke, you guys act silly. Emmy knows she's the best thing in the room. Like, see, she's like 100% facts. So I mean, it's really cool that that's just the heart that you had for your sister Maggie. I think that's just really nice and encouraging for other parents who might be going through that. How do I explain this to my child? What is that conversation like, to kind of put them at ease?
And I just didn't want her to be fearful. So that's why I struggled so much with trying to do it the right way. And perhaps I spent too much time worrying about saying it the right way when I should have just said it the way that I did instead of kind of putting it off. But Maggie was always present when Emmy's therapist would come, and
I just thought they were here to play with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone has therapists that comes to their house.
Yeah. Everyone was coming to see the new baby, so I thought they were just, friends.
Coming to see the baby. That's right.
That's right.
I love that. So I know that she had her speech therapy and physical therapy, OT, things like that. She also had worked with horses as well. Is that a thing?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, she did. She actually started when she was maybe 3 or 4 at one facility, and they would put her on a horse, and it helped her to follow verbal commands, and it helped her speech. It helped her muscle tone. And then so she was at this one facility for just a while, and then they closed down. And then another facility opened, and she was one of their first riders, and she absolutely loved it. Do you remember some of the things that you did for Mr. Eddie?
This mailbox thingy.
Okay, so there was a mailbox, and so around the arena, there were like different activities, and she would ride her horse to this mailbox that was really up high, and she would open
Good.
You did do good.
and so she would open the mailbox, and she would put something in, or she would take something out. So that was one of her activities. But they worked on balance issues, and she would have to close her eyes and put her arms out, and she would ride her horse that way. And that worked with coordination. They would make her stretch with the horse. And
What was your favorite way to ride the horse? Do you remember?
I have to touch in my foot.
No, remember? You would ride backwards.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah.
yes,
Backwards.
Yes.
Now she would have someone leading the horse at first, and then she would have people that would walk along the side of her.
Okay.
And riding the horse backwards did something, and I can't remember now what it was, but there
being balance or something.
maybe it was something with balance. I don't remember, but there was a specific reason that she rode the horse backwards. And so she would just sit backwards on the saddle and facing the rear of the horse.
I never is like Eddie called some weatherman going on, and really But really, he said, I need you to get out. No, please, drop down. Well,
It was the
this weather.
tornado.
Yes. So we were there one night, and this weatherman that she's talking about, there was a tornado coming, and we were at the barn.
I was nervous.
And Mr. Eddie told Emily that she needed to get down off the horse because a tornado was coming. I
Oh,
forgot all about that.
yeah, I'd be nervous too. Everything went well. Did you guys just stay in the barn?
We did fine. We
We drove 80 miles an hour home.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
3 minutes away.
there you go. That's the way. That's what I would have done.
recommend that.
Not recommended, guys.
But she went from being led on the horse and having sidewalkers to where she was totally independent. And she would groom the horse and they would help her saddle the horse. But she would get on and she would go around the arena all by herself. And she could make the horse go left or right, or what would you say to the horse to make it stop? Whoa.
That's right.
And
Yes.
get back up. So she became very independent in the arena, which the horses were very gentle, and
We're Amish horses, weren't they?
there was one that was an Amish horse. So it was
I love Amish.
So you know, they were broken. So they were just right for the kids that were riding them. But it was neat to see her go from somebody who needed so much help to one that could just be independent and go around the arena by herself.
So how did you guys see something like that, like activities with horses and learning how to ride a horse and be independent with that? How did that reflect in how she was in school and how she related to people at school? Did you see that development translate over in school and interacting with people?
Yes. Emmy is very social. And one of the things that we have always had to work on was, and she can be a little bit sassy sometimes.
She's saying no.
Not the word she was looking for.
But, you know, riding a horse and being in the barn, that helped her learn how to take direction and maybe following sequence of events, communicating with others, stating what her needs were and her wants were, where she could maybe advocate for herself a little bit more. But it was just, and that is one, but then you also have like the physical, you know, with her muscle tone and her balance and her coordination. She would have to stretch on the horse. They would put her up on the saddle and they would make her bend and touch her toes that were in the stirrups and
You did good on it.
You
and
did do good.
reach up and touch the horse's ear. And, you know, Mr. Eddie would have her grooming the horse. So she had some responsibility of taking care of the animal that was, you know, letting her ride. And
It's one like a bull. Wait.
there was another horse that kind of got a little bit active a time or two.
Yeah. Doing like a bull, like
Like a bull. Yeah.
As far as school.
Do what?
But as far as school.
Oh, yeah. But as far as school, that was just really those skills that she was learning in school would carry over to the barn and back to the school. You know, it was just a carryover of what she was learning.
I was yawning. Sorry.
I love that. And so, Emmy, what for you in school were some of your favorite activities to do, or like what were your favorite moments in school?
I do love math.
Math.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And I love writing, reading, science, social studies, even more.
Nice. Were you in any activities at school?
Like color,
Choir.
the choir,
Oh, you were in choir. Nice.
and And I'm the volleyball manager.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you been doing that?
Long 2019.
2019.
She was just doing it for 1 year.
And
Yeah, so that's something she kind of declared herself as volleyball manager. Remember, she went to the coach and she said, "I want to be a coach."
Oh.
And the coach is like, "Well, you can be a manager." And she said, "Okay." So she's done it for 2 seasons.
Right.
I need more.
And you need more. She wants to keep on doing it. We'll see. But
I love that.
yeah.
And so with COVID, you had to do something special with the balls because of COVID.
Yeah, we clean them.
Can you tell Candace what you did with the balls?
I do clean the balls, germs out.
Germs out.
Good.
Yeah. So every time the serve would switch from one team to the other, the volleyball had to be cleaned and disinfected. So it was this gal,
Really, some people do.
and it was her job to clean the ball and wipe it down and have it ready for the next. So she had an important job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that kind of got her involved in all these things in school is kind of from elementary school. Mom kind of thought to kind of have her in the general ed classroom, and to not really just be in the special needs classroom all day. She would go for what would she go for, like 30 minutes a day or something?
It kind of varied depending on what the day's activities were, but we knew that for Emily, we knew that she needed some very specific, there were times that she needed very specific one-on-one interaction. And we knew that she would need to be pulled into the resource room. But we also knew that she needed to know how to socialize with her peers, her same age peers. And her same age peers needed to know how to be with kids like Emmy. And so we were able to work it out so that she spent the biggest part of her day in the general ed classroom. And then she was pulled as she needed to for that one-on-one instruction. And she, as a result of that, she developed friends in kindergarten that are still just very good friends with her right now. And she's 19, and it's just really, really sweet. And you would see kids who might be behavior issues for the teacher, but when they were around Emmy, they were a totally different child. And it's like they recognized that she was different and that they needed to be different with her. And it was really, really sweet.
And I tell her about her first friend in kindergarten.
Peyton. Mm-hmm. So she had one little friend in kindergarten, and I can't remember how the conversation started, but the little girl was asking her mother. So the little girl is Peyton, and Peyton was asking her mom about Emmy. And so the mom was explaining to Peyton that Emmy had special needs. And it just so happened that Peyton had an older sister with special needs.
She passed away.
Yeah, she has since passed away. But the mom was explaining to Peyton that Emmy had special needs, and that she, would need some extra attention and some good friends. And Peyton declared as a kindergartner, well, then I will be her good friend.
Oh.
Is still her good friend.
Oh.
I know. She's a precious one. And Emily, there are just so many little friends. Then we had Aaron, and Aaron always worried at the end of the school year about what class Emmy would be going to next year and what class Aaron would be going to next year, because Aaron had to be with Emmy to take care of Emmy. And I mean, just precious. And now we have, there were 4 little girls that always came to Emmy's birthday parties, and Emmy would go to their parties.
All the time.
All the time. So we had Peyton and Aaron and Allie and Jessica. They were the mighty, there was 5 of them. But Emmy met a new friend in middle school, and her name is Bailey Richardson. And in fact,
you're joined at the hip.
They are joined at the hip.
Oh.
Every conversation somehow goes back to Bailey, and it does not matter what the conversation is. It's just a sweet little girl who is at the top of her class academically and with athletics. And she and Emmy have just developed a bond, and they are 2 peas in a pod. Aren't you?
I love that.
Yeah, it's just really sweet because they will call each other and FaceTime each other all the time.
They will FaceTime Emily into their family games. They'll be like playing a game as a family, and they'll FaceTime Emily and set her up so she can watch.
Yes. I love that. I mean, that's so cool. I guarantee you there are tons of people that they wish had friends like that. I really think people crave that. And the fact that you have so many that you've had since you were in kindergarten is amazing. Yeah. Absolutely amazing.
So when I talk about the support that we have, it's not just our medical people, it's not just school, but it's these friends, these good friends that Emmy has had since she was little bitty. And these little girls were so sweet. And it's like they did not see any differences. They just embraced each other and accepted each other for who they were. So they are part of our support system. And I know that I could contact any of those little girls, they're on 19 now, they're in college, but anyhow, but I could contact them and they would be right here if Emmy needed them or if I needed them. They're just good kids, really good kids.
That is, man, I love that. I'm so glad that even as a family that, you have people that really look out for her, that, if anything ever happens, that you have those resources that are her age, right? Like they are people that she can personally relate to that really love her and can be that support system to all of you. So I really do. I love that too. And I remember distinctly, Emmy, when you were homecoming queen.
Yes.
I need you to tell the people about this experience because it was the coolest thing I had ever seen. So share about that.
It's on news.
It's on the news.
And really funny is it's one dude on the book that says, what is this? I mean, what?
So there was, so she was on the news. She was on like 5 different news stations, and so she's Emily Lush, but I guess one of the announcers got her name mixed up, and it was Emily Rush.
Yeah,
and we still laugh about that today.
It's so funny, yeah.
And sometimes she will tell someone that her name is Emily Rush, and it's like, yeah, not really. But anyhow, homecoming queen.
Tell Candace about what happened, like in the gym when they announced your name.
Like, going to practice.
No, what did
practice
when they announced your name for homecoming queen? What did everyone do?
They said, "Congratulations, Emily!" And it's like, woohoo!
Yeah, they cheered.
Hey, Moni!
That's the part I remember watching the video of the entire school. The whole school went bananas. Like, that was the coolest thing. Everybody knew you.
So you saw the video.
Yeah. I remember.
So just a little school history here. So Grayson County was playing Edmonson County. And we are neighboring counties. And so there's just a long athletic rivalry between the 2 counties. But for a few minutes there, we were all on the same page. and it was all about Emily. They just cheered her on, and it was fantastic. After the game, we were leaving the gym, and a bunch of kids from Edmonson County wanted their picture made with Emily, and
a lot of them.
We didn't know them. They didn't know us. They had just met Emily because she was announced homecoming queen. And when we were leaving after they took their picture, I said, Emmy, who were those girls? And she said, they were my fans.
I'm done. She embraced it. Yes, girl, embrace it. You got fans, girl.
Oh, yeah.
And what we realized when she got homecoming queen, according to Emily, that's a real title. She's the queen of the county.
That's right.
And what, she was getting in trouble one night.
Yes. So I can't remember exactly what happened here. Well, and it wasn't just one occasion. It was a few different occasions. Usually she and her brother will just go at it. Argument. And I think it had something to do with her and her brother fussing. And I was getting on Emily to settle down, and she told me that she was the queen. And so she could do whatever she wanted because she was the queen. And it's like, now listen, I'm the mama.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway,
I can't. You pulled the queen card on the whole family, Emmy.
Fun.
She had come up to visit me in Lexington one time, and this was shortly after, and we were stuck in traffic somewhere, and she was getting so angry, and she said, I am the queen. I command everyone move, or something like that. And so
that's right. They didn't move. Man.
The queen had spoken.
That's right. See, she's like, fair. That's truth. Man, Emmy, you've done so many things. Like, from homecoming, you've done horseback riding. You've done a lot of things at church. I know I've seen you do videos of different things in church, whether it's singing. I know you've played a little piano as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then, of course, you have your own business now.
Yes, I am. Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about your business and how you decided to do that?
So I wanted to make some keychains. Yeah, like my mom. I told I got text. A lot of people was my older. I need it. I need more. I need that. Like,
what else do you need?
And Amy, she needs like
the shimmies.
Those, yes.
These.
No, those are wind chimes.
They're wind chimes. Yep.
So this came about when COVID hit. We were at home with school, so I was teaching from home. Leighton, our 10-year-old, he was going to school from home. Emily was going to school from home. And
a lot of people do.
Yeah, a lot of people were doing that. But, she had a job. She was working 2 evenings a week at a restaurant in Litchfield, and that stopped. And all of her school activities stopped, and, our church stopped. Everything just stopped. And so we finally made it to the end of school, which was what we needed. But then there was nothing to do. And I was thinking, she has got to do something because she just couldn't have so much idle time. But, where can you go and what can you do when you're in a pandemic? So I was watching TV one Saturday morning, and it was a craft show. And a lady was making wind chimes, and they were just very exquisite and very detailed and were beautiful. And I thought, Emily Lush, she can make wind chimes. And so we got busy with that, and we found our design, and we started calling them Emmys, shimmies, and much. And what?
Ain't much. No one else name in the
merch. Merch is merch.
Yeah.
But they just, in the first few that she made, I would kind of go to the family members ahead of time and I would say, Emmy's going to come and try and sell you a keychain or a wind chime. Will you please buy a wind chime? And they said, sure. And so that started probably in June. And then by October, I had quit asking people to buy them. And because people were coming to us saying, hey, I want one of Emmy's shimmies. And by October, she had already made over 300. And so I was keeping count. I thought that will be fun to see how many she makes. I quit counting. But now people contact us and they want Emmy shimmies, and she's in other countries now. People have, sent them to their friends in different places. And so we just, what was something that I was hoping would pass the time, it's turned into something that I'm having trouble keeping up with, to be real honest. And it's a good problem, because she stays busy. She loves it. So we are branching out now, and we have keychains. So we have gone from just wind chimes to keychains, and it's just incredible. It's incredible how the community has supported her. And at Christmas time, everybody wanted a shimmy to give for Christmas presents and keychains. And
she sells at a local shop too.
She does. Yeah. Tell them about Rooted.
So there's just a local boutique on the square in Litchfield. It's called Rooted, and they have a bunch of different vendors, and Emmy is one of them.
Nice.
Shimmies, yes. She has a little, we call it a shimmy tree. It kind of looks like a hat rack. It has her shimmies on there.
And you make some macrame.
Yeah, I sell like macrame things there. But
nice.
Yeah, Emmy was there before I was, though, so she established us.
So with this little shop, Emmy and I, we work one Saturday a month, and so we worked yesterday.
Yep.
And so she gets to visit with customers as they come in, and she gets to show off her shimmies and her keychains. And I think we're going to try and do a craft show or two this summer, just for fun. See how that goes.
I love that. I mean, you do so much, and you do more than people who don't have special needs do. I know a lot of people that struggle day to day just to get out of bed or to do the task that they have in front of them, but you're always so positive, and you're fun, and you relate to everybody you talk to. And you have this heart for Jesus that is just so bright that everyone can see that, and you're unashamed about your love for Jesus and how awesome he made you. So if all three of you had advice to give either families with special needs children or specifically who have awesome kids with Down syndrome, how would you advise them? What would your advice for them be?
Mm-hmm. Oh, me?
Well, I can go first.
I can start. I'll start. So I would say just kind of approach it with positivity. I mean, it's anything new is scary, but I mean, other people have done it and they've been fine. So, I mean, you'll figure it out. Just kind of look for your support system and just approach it with positivity. It'll be okay.
And that's what I would say. We did not know about Emmy before she was born, and I'm glad that we didn't. I'm glad that we didn't, because I think I would have been frightened.
Don't be.
But then, families that do know beforehand, they are so glad that they did know, so that way they could prepare. So I think it's really however it's handed to you. That's just how you go with it. But I would say find your support system, and we are so blessed with our family and my school friends and our medical.
Pam Armstrong.
With our medical folks, we are just so blessed. So I would echo what Maggie says, and I would say find your support system and lean on them. And you don't have to have all the answers, and it is okay to be unsure and frightened. Anything that's new is. When you have a child without special needs, there are still fears because you're not sure that what you're doing is the right way to do it. And so then when there are extra things to consider, it's frightening. But, I would just say be cautious with what you read online. Find reputable sites to get your information, because that can create a whole stir of things that you don't necessarily need at that time. But find your support. We were just able to find some good folks to guide us along the way with Emmy. There was a lady in Litchfield who has a restaurant, and she just could not wait to give Emmy a job. And, surround yourself by good people.
Sure, that's the same team.
Can you tell Candace what it's like to be sweet and awesome?
I love kind people. I love people. I do love my family also too. And I do love you.
Yeah.
And Backstreet Boys even more.
She loves music too.
Yes, I love that. And I love you too, Emily. You've just been such a bright spot in my life since I met you. And I love how infectious you are. You have a very infectious spirit. And I think anyone who listens to this podcast will figure that out really quickly. And your sass is amazing. Please stay sassy.
I never sass people.
Yes, she does. I have to tell you this, Candace. As we were driving yesterday to go to Rooted, to the little boutique to work, Emily talks a whole lot, and sometimes, and I do too. And
not sassy at all.
Well, the truth hurts, So I had something else in my mind, so I was kind of just halfway listening to Emily and really trying to focus on what was on my mind, and I was driving, and but she got my attention, and she said, "Mom," she said, "the Lord gave you a gift." And so that caught my attention. And I said, "Oh, yeah?" I said, "What is it?" And she said, "Down syndrome kid. This kid right here."
I can't.
No, that is not fantastic. But she just puts a bright spot in everybody's life. And the people that she has touched, and she just impacts them in so many different ways. She's so positive and so caring, and she doesn't want to see anybody hurting, nobody sad.
Like Uncle Johnny passed away.
Yeah. So she wants everybody to be happy, and she's a blessing.
She is, and thank you guys for what you do for her and how you guys get to show her off to the world. Because I can see how, as a family, you guys are just so proud of her and so proud to be related to her, and that she allows you to be in her presence, right? That she's so loving. I love that, guys. Well, you guys, thank you so much for taking your time to share your collective first fossil story. I think it's really inspirational to all of us. And how can people find Emmy on social media, and how can they get Emmy shimmies?
So we have a Facebook page. I manage the Facebook page. It's just called Emmy Shimmies. You'll see a picture of her and her shimmies on there. And that you can see her on there. We try to post an update at least once a week. Sometimes I don't, but we'll say, if she's going to be at a local craft show, or, and we've had people message and say, hey, I'm out of state and I want to shimmy. And we've been able to arrange that most of the time. So that's how you can find Emmy.
Yeah.
And, keep your eyes peeled for your local news. She might jump on there again. So,
hey,
That's true. All right, guys. So I'll post a link for Emmy's shimmies on my website for you guys to go to, and you can check out her stuff. And absolutely, you're going to want to buy stuff. So check all those things out. And thank you guys all for listening to today's episode. If there are any topics that you want covered in the future, any situations you want us to kind of walk through, you can DM me. You can post them on all my socials. I'm at First Fossil, or you can shoot me a text at 859-800-3396. I will definitely respond. And if you've related to anything that's been said on this episode, please share that with me. Share that with Emmy or Teresa or Maggie. They would love to hear from you guys as well. Any questions that you guys have for them, please send them to them, because I know a lot of people need support when it comes to being in families with special needs children, and they're always willing to help. So let them know if you do have questions. And if you want to further support this podcast, you can go to www.firstfossil.com, and there's a list of ways that you can support by buying First Fossil merch. You can buy products from some of my sponsors. You can become a patron, and there's some other things that you can do. But some of the best things that you can do is just listen to the podcast, share it, rate it, send it to people that you know, and allow them to listen too. And hopefully they'll become supporters as well. So thank you guys so much for your support, and you all take care. You three, please stay safe. Continue to wash those hands. Continue to shower.
Well, that too.
That too, right? Okay, everybody continue to shower. And we will talk to you guys soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.